Hey, how you going? So we got the latest Blox bulletin, and it's really exciting. So we got this new image, which looks pretty cool. And so it's kind of like this in this PvP arena. The hockey looks a bit different, so maybe it's a reference to the hockey rework. We don't really know. He also has this amulet on that's not in the game, so maybe it's sort of like referencing something like necklaces that you can wear or amulets that give like extra health or damage, stuff like that. I think would be really cool in Blox. Maybe it's an accessory update, maybe it's a PvP arena area update. We don't really know, but whatever it is, it's going to be really exciting. This is a really interesting block shoots bulletin. Unlike the other ones, which were pretty small, this is quite a lot of stuff, which is pretty exciting. So, firstly, we got this person asking, can we expect to get sneaks monthly or even weekly outside of blogs? So, they're just going to be focusing on the weekly blogs, which I think is a really good idea, but they'll also post sneaks when we get the update soon. So when we're getting the sneaks, we're gonna get the update soon. I think that's a really good idea because I think the blogs have been really good. Because previously it would be like months and months until we got any news about the update, but they've actually been like following to their word and posting the block shoots bulletins weekly. And even though often they're quite like weird and they don't really give us much information, I think even like a small bit of information every week's really good, and it makes the community really informed of what Blockshoots is doing. And I think that's a really good idea for Blockshoots, and I really hope they continue doing the Blockshoots bulletin, because it's really good and it's a lot better than being kept in the dark for like a couple of months. They also did this reference to talking about how they're doing new quest types and stuff like that. So they're talking about how they're going to be doing these side missions that aren't really hard, and everyone could do it. And they're saying, oh, it's not going to be like locked out by like a really hard boss, so everyone can do it, which I do think is a good idea. But it doesn't really sound that interesting. It's saying how like, oh, these quests will be extra levels to help improve the grinding experience. I don't know what that means. Like, how would extra levels improve the grinding experience? Because I assume these side quests are just kill a boss or kill an enemy or something like that. Hopefully they do something more different because I think Block Shoots is trying to focus to become like an actual good game, like an RPG or something like that. And I think they're trying to do like these big like they're focusing a lot on the story. So maybe these big story side missions, stuff like that. I think that would be cool in Block Shoots, and I think they're trying to move to that. They were we're also going to get achievements this update, which is really exciting. I wasn't expecting achievements in this next update. I think we're getting a lot of stuff, which is annoying because I think they're going to be pushing back the update quite a bit. I think Blockshoot's big problem is they just keep on piling more and more stuff, and then the update gets pushed back, and we have to wait years for the update. Hopefully, they can keep it at a manageable space. But we're going to get achievements next update. They're probably going to be stuff like if you have 30 million bounty or kill like a bunch of enemies or have all V4s or V4 stuff like that. I think achievements would be cool. It's kind of similar to titles, so there's probably not going to be much difference to them in titles. Maybe like a little logo or something like that you get. I think achievements would be cool, and it'll give like a little recognition of work people have done. There's also plans for Valor, so they were changing uh, uh honor and bounty to Valor, which I think is a good idea, making Valor more important because they're saying how bounty is kind of useless right now, like it doesn't really do much, but they're going to do Valor and it's actually going to be useful to grind, and it does, and it's not, you don't just have to gain it from PvP, also like killing NPCs, I assume, and stuff like that. They're also saying how you can hold like Valor in your inventory, like bones and hearts, which I think is an interesting thing. So they'll probably still keep bounty and stuff, but then also have Valor. You'll probably get like a lot of Valor from killing people in PvP, but you also get a little bit from killing maybe bosses or just normal NPCs, stuff like that. And there'll also be a unique currency. For they're also like the subclasses will have their own unique currencies, which is interesting. So they're adding a bunch of currencies, and that'll be cool to like buy different stuff because we've got like fragments and berries and stuff like that. But now there's going to be a new currency, which I think would be really cool, and we're probably going to be getting that in the new update because they have been talking a lot about adding more subclasses. Is the other one like subclass the shipwright was really useful, but they're gonna say that how like they're gonna do subclasses that are not just focused on water, but like you can use anywhere. There's also talking about how the spawn rates for sea events, so they're going to be changing to see the stuff about how like end game players will be able to pick up what types of sea events will spawn for players, which I think would be really cool because currently you could spawn like sea beast and stuff, but imagine being able to spawn like different sea events. They're probably not going to be able to like spawn leviathans and stuff like that, but being able to spawn these different sea events and having more stuff, I think adding more sea events would be cool because there's only like a couple of stuff that happens and it gets quite repetitive and boring. Adding more sea events adds more like interest in the game and makes it more interesting every time we go out. And Terra Sharks are just too annoying. Maybe reduce the two Terra Sharks spawning at one time because those are just way too powerful, and also being able to outrun them, I think, because if you want to fight Terror Sharks, it's fine. But if you just want to like do Mirage or something like that, it's just really annoying. Because Terror Sharks will probably like catch up to you and destroy your boat. But yeah, that's it. We're also going to be getting a Blacksmith rework or something like that. We're also going to be getting a Spiky Trident rework and a bunch of other long-awaited upgrades, which I think is really exciting. So they're talking about how this blacksmith Q is becoming restless. His shop rings with the sound of clanging metals. Fresh orders, stacks high as more customers line up with outdated metal weapons in hands. So yeah, it's been talking about like these outdated weapons and these neglected gear, and it's talking about this spiky trident. So maybe we're getting a spiky trident rework or like uh an upgrading of upgrades, which I think is a good idea because a lot of the swords they've been reworked, but they still don't look really good. And adding an upgrading version, I think that would be cool. And I'm adding an upgrade for a lot of stuff, and spiky trident as well, because you don't really see much people using spiky trident anymore. But more people using spiky trident would be cool. Seeing how it's gonna get upgraded or something. There's also more stuff about like this plant, like talk about the state park. And so we've got a bunch of stuff about it. It's probably something to do with potions, and it's talking about these different ingredients. Some of these ingredients have become more questionable, and they're talking about hunger. I don't think they're going to add hunger into block shoots, but I don't really know where they're going with this. Maybe it's a reference to fruit rework, maybe it's a potion rework, but they've been doing a lot of sneaks in it, so it's going to be something big. And they keep on talking about like this state park kind of thing. So we don't really know what this is going to be about, but whatever it is, it's probably going to be pretty exciting and adds a lot of stuff. And they're talking about how the spotlight's going back to Sharkman karate, which I think is really good because as a like with the lot of PvP stuff, for fighting styles especially, often you will never see people using like Electro or the Sanji one stuff like that, and a lot of them I think would be really good with Rua because most people only use God Human or Sanguine stuff like that. So I think it would be cool to get like fighting styles reworked, but we're going to be getting a V3 version of Sharkman Karate, which is really exciting. It's going to look really cool, probably. It's going to probably be similar move sets. Maybe have a cutscene, probably not, but it's going to be really cool to get a new fighting style because we missed out on Divine fighting style, and a lot of people really looking forward to that. So we're getting Sharkman V3 instead. Hopefully, we still do get Sharkman Karate, the Divine Art eventually because it still would be really cool. We also got this stuff about the life etched in pages. So the book that got like washed up in the last Block Streets Bulletin, they've been talking about that more, and so talking about how like it has these traits, growth, and strengths of these powerful individuals. So we don't really know what this is about, but maybe it's a way to upgrade like yourself, like give yourself more health, more damage, stuff like that. But yeah, we don't really know what this is about. We thought that it was a way to like upgrade swords differently, and give more like enhancement booklet, maybe like another one, like a cursed scroll or different scrolls, maybe something like that. But maybe it's something instead of like swords, maybe it's yourself. Maybe you do more fruit damage, maybe you do more sword damage. Something like that I think would be really cool, but we don't really know what it is. There's gonna be a lot of stuff coming in this update, which is really exciting, and I think it's gonna be a really big update. I really hope they don't take ages with the update, because last time they only did 4 Blox bulletins, but we've already got more, and we're going to be getting another Blox bulletin next update. We haven't even got the sneaks, so that means the update isn't even near. Hopefully it's this update, this month. I think it would be really cool if it's this month, because we have been waiting for quite a bit. But yeah, I think the Blox bulletins have been a really good idea. Hopefully we get the update soon. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.